There are moments in life when you feel as though you have tried everything. You have prayed, you have waited, you have worked, and you have done everything you know to do, yet the situation still has not changed. Perhaps you are carrying a burden that nobody else understands. Perhaps you are waiting for healing, restoration, financial provision, direction, peace, or a breakthrough in your family. And sometimes in the quiet hours of the night, your heart becomes more aware of how deeply you need God. If you find yourself awake at 3 a.m., don't immediately assume that the interruption is meaningless. Instead, use that quiet moment as an opportunity to turn your attention toward God. You don't need perfect words. You don't need an impressive prayer. You simply need a sincere heart that is willing to seek Him. Father, in this quiet hour, I come before you just as I am. I lay down my worries, my fears, my questions, and my burdens before you. You know everything I have been carrying. You know the battles I have fought in silence. You know the tears I have cried when nobody was watching. You know the desires of my heart, even the ones I have struggled to put into words. Lord, I ask you to meet me here. Where I feel weak, give me strength. Where I feel confused, give me wisdom. Where I feel discouraged, restore my hope. Where I feel afraid, remind me that I am not alone. Where I see no way forward, help me trust that you can make a way. Your word reminds us in Psalm 46:10 to be still and know that you are God. So tonight, I choose stillness. I choose to stop trying to control everything. I choose to surrender the things I cannot change and place them into your hands. God, I am asking you for breakthrough, but I also ask you to transform me while I wait for it. Don't allow me to become so focused on the blessing that I forget the one who gives it. Don't allow my desire for an answer to become greater than my desire for your presence. Teach me to trust you, even when I cannot see what you are doing. Father, if there is a door that needs to open, open it according to your will. If there is a door that needs to remain closed, give me the wisdom and strength not to force it open. If there is something in my life that must change before I step into the next season, reveal it to me. Remove anything that is keeping me from walking faithfully with you. Lord, I surrender my plans to you. I surrender my timeline to you. I surrender my expectations to you. I surrender the outcome to you. Sometimes I have believed that breakthrough must happen exactly when I want it. But tonight I am learning that your timing is greater than mine. Delay does not mean abandonment. Silence does not mean you have forgotten me. A closed door does not mean my story is over. There is something powerful about seeking God when the world is quiet and distractions are few. In the middle of the night, when everything around you becomes still, your heart can become more aware of what you have been carrying. At 3 a.m., you may suddenly remember the situation that has been troubling you, the person you have been praying for, the decision you do not know how to make, or the dream that seems delayed. Instead of allowing those thoughts to fill you with fear, use that quiet moment to turn toward God. Let the silence become an invitation to pray, reflect, and surrender everything that has been weighing on your heart. When you wake up in the early hours, remember that you do not have to have perfect words before approaching God. You do not need to create an impressive prayer. You can simply speak honestly. Tell Him what hurts. Tell Him what scares you. Tell Him what you desire. Tell Him where you feel weak. Tell Him where you are confused. God already knows what is inside your heart, yet prayer gives you the opportunity to bring those hidden burdens into His presence. You are not informing Him about your struggles. You are choosing to trust Him with them. Maybe you have been carrying financial pressure, wondering how your needs will be met. Maybe your family is experiencing tension, and you do not know how to restore peace. Maybe you are waiting for an opportunity, praying for healing, seeking direction, or asking God to change a circumstance that has remained the same for a long time. Whatever the burden may be, you can place it before God. You do not have to carry everything into another day. You can say, Father, this is too heavy for me, but it is not too heavy for you. Surrender does not mean that you stop caring. It means you stop believing that everything depends entirely on you. There is a difference between responsibility and control. God may ask you to work, prepare, forgive, make a decision, seek wisdom, or take a step of faith, but He never asks you to carry the entire future on your shoulders. Your responsibility is to obey what He shows you. His responsibility is to handle what is beyond your control. This is why quiet prayer can become such a powerful practice. When you pray in the early morning hours, you are making a deliberate choice to place God above your anxiety. Instead of reaching first for your phone, your worries, or the problems waiting for you, you reach toward the presence of God. You begin the day by reminding yourself that your circumstances do not have the final authority over your peace. Perhaps you have been asking God for a breakthrough and wondering why it has not happened yet. Remember that breakthrough is not always immediate change in circumstances. Sometimes the first breakthrough happens inside you. God may give you peace before He changes the situation. He may give you wisdom before He gives you the opportunity. He may strengthen your faith before he reveals the answer. He may prepare your character before opening the door you have been praying for. Do not despise the quiet season. Do not assume that nothing has happened simply because you cannot see movement. Roots grow underground before a tree becomes visible above the ground. In the same way, God can be working in ways that are hidden from your eyes. Your task is not to understand every detail. Your task is to remain faithful, prayerful, and willing to trust Him. When you surrender your burdens, be specific. Do not simply say, God, take everything. Name the fear that keeps returning. Name the relationship that troubles you. Name the financial concern. Name the decision. Name the disappointment. Name the future you are afraid of. Then deliberately place each one in God's hands. Say, Lord, I cannot control this, but I trust you with it. Every time anxiety tries to take the burden back, return it to prayer. Your mind may tell you that you must figure everything out tonight. Your emotions may tell you that the worst possible outcome is certain. Fear may show you a future filled with failure. But prayer allows you to pause and remember that your imagination is not prophecy. You do not know everything that tomorrow will bring. God does. Therefore, you can rest without having every answer. Seeking God in the quiet hours also teaches you to value His presence more than His gifts. It is easy to seek God only because you want something from Him. But mature faith learns to say, Lord, even before you change my circumstances, I want to know you more deeply. When His presence becomes your priority, you discover that peace does not have to wait for perfect circumstances. So when you wake in the quiet hours, do not automatically view it as an interruption. Let it become a sacred opportunity to pause. Breathe slowly. Quiet your thoughts. Open your heart. Speak honestly to God. Read His Word. Thank Him for what He has already done. Ask Him for wisdom. Surrender your burdens one by one. Give Him your plans, your fears, your relationships, your finances, your future, and the things you cannot control. Then allow yourself to rest. You have brought your burden to the one who is greater than the burden. You do not have to solve tomorrow before morning arrives. You can trust God with what you cannot see, and you can walk forward with faith for the next step He places before you. There are times when you pray for a breakthrough and expect everything to change immediately. You ask God to open the door, remove the obstacle, restore what was lost, provide what is needed, or bring an answer to the situation that has been troubling you. But sometimes the greatest work God does begins before the breakthrough becomes visible. While you are waiting for the answer, He may be preparing your heart, strengthening your faith, changing your perspective, and teaching you to trust Him more deeply. Your waiting season is not necessarily a wasted season. It can become a season of preparation. When you pray at 3 a.m., bring your desires before God with confidence, but also bring your expectations under His wisdom. Tell Him what you need, but remember that God sees what you cannot see. You see the present circumstance. He sees the entire journey. You see the closed door. He knows what is behind it. You see the delay. He knows what the delay may be producing in you. You see the problem. He sees possibilities that are completely beyond your understanding. This is why faith requires trust. Trust does not mean pretending that everything is easy. It means believing that God remains faithful even when life feels uncertain. You can admit that you are tired. You can admit that you are disappointed. You can admit that you do not understand why your prayer has not been answered. Faith does not require you to hide your emotions. Faith invites you to bring those emotions honestly into God's presence and allow Him to strengthen you there. Perhaps you have been praying for a financial breakthrough. Ask God for provision, but also ask Him for wisdom to manage what He places in your hands. Perhaps you are praying for a new opportunity. Ask Him to open the right door, but also ask Him to prepare you for the responsibility that may come with it. Perhaps you are praying for restoration in your family. Ask Him to change the situation, but also ask Him to change your heart, giving you patience, humility, forgiveness, and wisdom. Sometimes we ask God to change everyone around us while ignoring the areas He wants to change within us. We ask Him to remove our difficulties without asking what those difficulties are teaching us. We ask for the destination without asking for the character necessary to handle the destination. But God is interested not only in where you are going, He is interested in who you are becoming along the way. Your breakthrough should not destroy the person you became while waiting for it. If God gives you greater influence, you need greater character. If He gives you greater resources, you need greater wisdom. If He gives you a new relationship, you need the maturity to nurture it. If He opens a new opportunity, you need the discipline to handle it. This is why preparation matters. Do not become frustrated because you are still waiting. Instead, ask, Lord, what are you preparing me for? That question can completely change the way you experience your season. Instead of seeing every delay as rejection, you begin looking for growth. Instead of constantly asking when the answer will come, you begin asking what God wants you to learn while you wait. There may be habits that need to change. There may be attitudes that need to be surrendered. There may be relationships that need healthy boundaries. There may be unforgiveness that needs to be released. There may be distractions that are consuming your attention. There may be fears that are preventing you from taking the next step. Bring these things before God during your prayer time and ask Him to reveal what needs attention. Father, prepare me for the breakthrough I am praying for. If you are opening a door, prepare me to walk through it with humility. If you are increasing my responsibility, give me wisdom. If you are bringing restoration, teach me how to protect what you restore. If you are giving me an opportunity, give me courage to recognize it and discipline to use it well. If I am still waiting because there is something you want to develop in me, help me cooperate with your work rather than resist it. Do not allow impatience to make you force a door that God has not opened. Not every opportunity is your opportunity. Not every relationship is meant to continue. Not every offer is a blessing. Not every delay is punishment. You need discernment to recognize the difference. That is why prayer should include more than requests. Ask God for wisdom. Ask Him to guide your decisions. Ask Him to protect you from choices that appear attractive but would ultimately pull you away from His purpose. When you pray in the early morning, remind yourself that God's timing is not measured by your anxiety. You may feel pressure because you want an answer now, but pressure does not mean you must rush. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is remain still long enough to hear clearly. Trusting God also means refusing to measure His faithfulness by your current circumstances. A difficult season does not mean God has abandoned you. A delayed answer does not mean He has stopped listening. A closed door does not mean your future has ended. Your story is larger than the chapter you are currently experiencing. Keep praying, keep preparing, keep growing, keep obeying what God has already revealed. You do not need to know every step before taking the next faithful one. Sometimes God gives enough light for the step directly in front of you, rather than revealing the entire road. When fear tells you that nothing will ever change, return to prayer. When disappointment tells you to give up, return to prayer. When impatience tells you to force an answer, return to prayer. Let prayer become the place where your heart is recalibrated. Let it remind you that your future is not resting entirely on your ability to control circumstances. And when the breakthrough finally comes, let your first response be gratitude. Remember the nights when you prayed without seeing an answer. Remember the moments when you had to trust without understanding. Remember how God strengthened you while you waited. The breakthrough will be meaningful, but the person you became during the waiting may be one of the greatest blessings of the entire journey. Tonight, place your future back into God's hands. Ask Him for the breakthrough you desire, but also ask Him to prepare you for it. Trust His wisdom when the timing feels slow. Trust His direction when the path feels uncertain. Trust His protection when a door closes. Trust His provision when resources appear limited. And trust His presence through every step. You may not see the answer yet, but you can prepare your heart today. You can become more faithful today. You can become more disciplined today. You can forgive today. You can pray today. You can obey today. You can choose faith today. And when God brings the next opportunity, you will not meet it as the same person who began praying for the breakthrough. Father, thank you for hearing me. Thank you for staying with me through every season. Thank you for the moments when you protected me from things I never knew were coming. Thank you for the blessings I noticed and the blessings I never saw. Tonight, I release my burden. Tonight, I release my fear. Tonight, I release my need to understand everything. And tonight, I place my life into your hands. Let your will be done in my life. Let your wisdom guide me. Let your peace guard my heart. Let your presence strengthen me. And when the breakthrough comes, don't let me forget this moment. Let me remember that before I saw the answer, I learned to trust the one who holds the answer. I pray all of this with a humble and believing heart. Amen.